which I live, probably. Though perhaps not in as much of a timely fashion as might have been possible, but that's fine. I probably live enough that I'll be able to be here for a reasonable percentage of what I have scoped out anyway, for the immediate present. And you know, that's probably the more important part of this whole thing, being able to accomplish that, but anyway. I am also very out of practice with doing anything that has to do with streaming, as is evidenced by my current state, but it's also a bit contradictory considering that it hasn't even been like a week or anything, or even like a few days, really. Or like a very small handful of collective hours, which do amount to more than a day, but still, since I've actually done this, and yet never quite seems to stick with me. I wonder what that would be, but anyway, I guess I better try to gloss over that by trying to do something such as, well, anything at all, really. Maybe try to get something done, but I suppose one of the first things that I should try to get done right now is moving on to a screen where stuff should probably be visible. I should actually probably change the that chat appearance to the other one. That will probably be a bit more sensible for what I'm trying to do right now. Maybe not necessarily what I'm trying to do right now, as in right this second, but something that I will, I suppose, at least try to accomplish in a short while. I noticed that one of the, one of the, I mean, you can't see this at all, but one of the preset files that I have for Fontificator is apparently called This Will Do, and I have no idea what that one looks like. I could find out real quick. That's what it looks like, okay. Probably use that in conjunction with... Actually, which one is this? Do I have a Shining Force menu and Panzer Dragoon Saga? I don't quite remember what I would have used this paired with, but that's what it looks like. But no, I think we're going to be using this right now, because it's technically better suited to just the space that I have for that, and the 4x3 mode. So why not? Also, hello Burn, and yeah, since I guess I didn't see that yet. Welcome in. Are you gonna use your new emote slots? Well, yeah, that's a plan. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to actually figure out a specific time in which I attempt to do something to implement with that. I might try to do like a specific stream. I feel like I already have like a pretty good idea of what I want to use one of them for, but not too sure exactly how I'm gonna handle the other ones. But I think what I'll probably end up doing is attempt to do like the one emote idea that I'm pretty much dead set on by myself, just to try and, I don't know, evaluate how viable it's gonna be to go from there. And then maybe drop a few more lines in my Discord and see if there's anything more specific that people would be interested in for the other ones. And maybe if I manage to handle getting to that point, and maybe do like a specific stream to which I attempt to create the other emotes. But we'll see. I mean, I've got room for a few things that I could afford to implement, not just the other 3 emotes I'm gonna have room for, but also the very small handful of bit emotes that I could be able to implement right now, which I think only a couple people will be able to use, but regardless of that. Unless something bizarre happens, not that I'm expecting it to, but there's also the sub badges, which is something that I've had available for ages, and yet I've never really thought of anything specific that I would want to do with them. I feel like once upon a time I had the idea that maybe I would want to do like little versions of the Doctors, the classic Doctors from Doctor Who as sub badges, but that never really materialized. Don't know if I would want to do that still or something different though. But yeah, these are all things that will hopefully be addressed at some point. At some point soon, that is not just at some point ever, because that's like the perfect excuse for that to never happen. And speaking of things that I should stop putting off, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can shuffle the playlist right now, so I can go ahead and do some VG, I'm guessing. Let's see if this works. Don't seem to have as much trouble speaking right now as I was kind of expecting. Even that's usually the case when I do a stream after basically not saying anything all day. I suppose it's not within my habit. Updated it with the tracks that are new from 304. Nice. Let's see what pops up here. Guess I'm gonna go ahead and quickly fade out this clock tower track, even though it's a good one. Just like pretty much anything else that I dare say, anything else that I actually bothered to put on here. That's why I put it on here, but... goodness, but on that note... Well, let me just see what's at the top here. Talk about how I don't have any difficulty speaking because of issues with the flesh mechanisms that allow people to speak in my case, but then I have to mute myself surreptitiously for a number of... oh wow, that's loud. A number of very minor things that I need to clear up, and probably is better to clear up in a way that doesn't involve other people hearing it. But anyway, completely bragging that out and not acknowledging the fact that this is Perfect Dark. This is not part of the guessing, by the way. I haven't quite gone to that yet. It's just what's at the top of the playlist, but it's apparently Air Force Anti-Terrorism X from Perfect Dark, as well as a number of other things. I don't think anything stands out terribly from the stuff at the very top that I see here. There's Palace of Winds from Mirish Cap, which I just clicked on, but apparently it's going to take a moment to load, which has popped up in a few different contexts recently. It was one of the tracks that apparently only I knew, even in the friggin' Zelda Masters, even though 2 people bust in before me for this one. Which was interesting. And it also came up in a like Game Boy games guessing game recently. Which was of course quite fortuitous, but anyway. There's this, and then the final one before I can't actually see what's up ahead. Is oddly enough another Zelda shooting galleries, apparently specifically from Majora's Mask. I want to say that this was also in Ocarina of Time. I vaguely remember, like, and I think it should probably say something that I remember Ocarina of Time a lot less clearly than I do literally anything in Majora's Mask, but it was like a shoot rupees with your slingshot minigame in Ocarina of Time that had the same track, but I don't even know. But anyway. Yes, this puts me at the point where I can just proceed, so I guess this is the point in which, assuming that I don't have to skip anything, or I don't do anything that's less than a minute long, go ahead and do 5 tracks, random tracks from this point on, whatever's after this, and each will play for about a minute, hopefully, and anyway, I guess, so let's go ahead and get started now. Ooh, I know what this is. Funny part is that there's a very small handful of tracks from this game that I coincidentally learned by myself in practice, and yet I pretty much completely forgot about them until this game ended up coming up a bit more recently again. And at least I'm pretty sure that helped me like refresh my memory of this track at least. Pretty sure the first time that I heard this track in any kind of recent history, I wasn't the one who was able to correctly identify it, but I was able to pretty much immediately corroborate somebody else's guess of it. Armor Core 2 Tic-Tac-Toe? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it, I want to say. There's like 3 Armored Core 2 tracks that I learned. One of them was just Boil Wars Man, because that's one that just sounds like a bunch of shots being fired at the beginning. And there's Tic Tac Toe, which is this, and then there's another one called Cordy, which I actually don't remember exactly what that sounds like, even at the beginning, but I do vaguely remember trying to learn that one, so probably makes sense if I were to listen to it again. But yes, this is Armored Core 2 Tic Tac Toe, indeed. So I guess I'll just go ahead and move on to the next one now. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, well, I want to say I know what game this is. It's one of those very overplayed games that I think I've heard quite enough of, if I'm right. Yep, there's a leitmotif to eliminate any and all ambiguity towards that. Pretty sure in the track as well. Definitely in the did not even consider even for 1 microsecond for the top 100 list, because I figured this game had enough sims already. Kinda surprised to see it have that many entries in the final list though, regardless of that. But yeah, it's that. I'm just gonna go ahead and look, because it's that. Oh, and apparently pretty good that I looked ahead of time anyways, since apparently this is literally 1 minute and 1 second, so it's about to just cut out right now. Ooh. And then there's this, which I don't think I recognize this particular track, but I think I can tell the game pretty easily. You know, I started playing this game like ages ago, and yet I never really went back to it. I think probably because I was trying to treat it as one of those games that I should definitely play entirely on stream, and yet really made time to continue it. Wonder if I should try to do that again, or just like play it by myself. Oh shit, I literally just turned off my phone, so I can't even tell what the time was. Is it still running? Okay, it was still running. That's nice. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's FF3. Which I barely made any kind of actual progress in when I played it. I got to like the floating castle area, and I never really did anything there. That's pretty much where I stopped. And then I kind of very briefly tried to play one of the remakes like many years down the line, and it just seemed like way less balanced, as I'm pretty sure I mentioned. Well, I'm looking at the track now, and I think from the name I want to say this is one of the tracks that I probably would have heard at some point regardless, because this is probably one of the tracks that's on Theater Rhythm, which was definitely my source of knowledge for a pretty good chunk of FF tracks initially. Oh dear. This is called the Boundless Ocean. I want to say, yeah, it probably was on there. I completely failed to actually realize that I had yet to actually say the track name. And then there's this, whatever this may be. I don't recognize it. Maybe this could be Final Fantasy 15 or something like that. Game that I've been mildly curious about for some time, but definitely not enough to push me to actually bite the bullet and buy it. Especially since it seems to be one of those games like No Man's Sky, which I did recently bite the bullet on though. But one of those games which never seems to go below a certain price point, even though it's been out for quite a while. Kinda strange. I mean, I should probably actually look that up real quick. I have no idea if this is actually what I'm listening to right now, but I want to know this regardless. It released on 2016, so it's been out for about 5 years. Well, the PC edition, Windows edition, came out in 2018 apparently, and that's the one that I would get if I were to get this. Well, if I were to get Final Fantasy 15, which I don't know what this is, but it's been a minute, so I can actually check if it's That or not, this is not that. This is a game that I will probably will not actually play. Kind of ironically, even though this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is free. It's Dota 2, I think, I assume. There's actually no indication of the game on the upload title or the video image. It's just like the logo, which I assume is Dota 2. It says that the video is just called Main Menu 2 though. And yeah, I'm guessing it's Dota 2. Apparently you can buy the Dota 2 official soundtrack for some money. If I just go on that page, okay, it actually has a listing of the tracks just on the page itself. Is there actually a track called Main Menu 2 on this other page? I'm not seeing it. There's like, I guess, some variations that are distinguished not by just small numbers, but just by the years, I guess, that they were implemented in. Wonder if any of those would, let me take a look at something real quick. This upload is 2 minutes 56, and I'm not seeing any tracks on the page listing that are 2 minutes 56, so I don't know. Anyway, this has been track number 4, so there should be one more after this one. Let's see. In about 10 seconds, when this video apparently comes to an end, even though I think that music just started fading out, or just finished fading out well before that. Oh hey, it's this. I feel like I should, you know, speaking of biting the bullet, maybe not with anything to do with money, but I should finally try to figure out exactly what all of the tracks from this sound like. I feel like this is one of those games that you can just recognize immediately based on the sound, but telling some of the tracks apart is kind of difficult. This is not one of them. My favorite track from this, which is not this, but probably the one that you hear the most briefly, I'd say, even though maybe not. Depends on how much menuing you want to do for this game. Well, anyway, that was, oh god, oh thanks. That was Anticipation, and that was the title theme. Select Players is probably my favorite track from that, though, but that was the final one too, from this canon thing. Well, canon thing, quote unquote. I guess canon is just like the first 5 that play after I say that it starts, and this would be, I guess, the little 6th bonus track that I played just because after it, which is Soul of Cinder from Dark Souls 3. And speaking of stuff that I like that probably is not in the chase, I think that of all of the Dark Souls 3 tracks that I've heard so far, the one track... Yeah, the one track that, from that game and from that series overall, I think actually that made it onto my top 100 was Dark Souls 3 Twin Princess. Ooh, whoops. But, ironically enough, I don't think that's one that's played in the chase yet, even though my, like the way that I tried to decide which track to put in that position, which was close to the bottom, to be fair. Well, bottom of the top 100, which is not saying much given how many candidates there were. It was a toss-up between Twin Princess from Dark Souls 3 and Sister Frida, also from Dark Souls 3. Even though that one's from an expansion, but apparently Dark Souls games don't need to be expanded in the chase, given that Slave Knight Gale has played, and that one is also from an expansion. So, who knows, maybe one day I'll hear one of those. That would be nice. Maybe it's seen already and it just has never come up, who even knows. I can't tell anymore. But yeah, that has been the guessing. And I guess I will briefly bring back the clock tower, because why not? It's a nice OST, even though I think this is also... There's probably a good chunk of OSTs that I have on this playlist that I just haven't remembered to kind of vet and put on my actual chase wish list. I have the... Like one of the tracks that I have, literally the one that's number 1 that I put on this playlist, I guess. Oh shit, fuck. Well, that's what happens when I'm clicking around on different tabs, and apparently I run into one that I never didn't even click on at all after opening it with the mouse wheel. But what am I looking for here? Yeah, the track that I literally have is number 1 on my stream playlist right now is the fucking Great Gatsby for NES Flash game. And according to a YouTube soundtrack video that I just looked up, though, it has 12 tracks. Which means that unfortunately it would be too long for a micro sub. I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily recognize any of the tracks except literally the one that I put on here, which, oh, what do you know, it literally is the one that's playing right now, even though I didn't select that on purpose. It's literally on shuffle, so it's literally a coincidence that that played right after I talked about it, but it's nice timing. But speaking of nice timing, I think I better go ahead and quickly update the metadata so I can at least play a little bit of video game before I disappear into the vast reaches of the hollow abyss of nothingness and all that stuff. I need to close a bunch of tabs too that I'm not using for anything, they're just cluttering up everything. I am organized. Anyway, let's see. I also assume that this thing is gonna work perfectly fine. This thing that I haven't started up in a minute. I think I didn't play this at all last week, so I'll be going back to this in a timely fashion. Good old Grim Fandango. Let's see if I can. Well, I already clicked play, and I think if I remember, this game is literally gonna start up like, yeah, with no warning. And that was like perfectly synced to the way that track was. Oh, yeah, it literally starts up with no warning and drops you right into the last place where stuff was happening, which is not showing up on the stream yet for some reason. What's going on with that? It's also kind of loud. Even though it's at the normal volume level. Okay, there he goes. That was actually kind of sudden. It had like a bit of an odd effect on my vision. I want to say like it almost faded in, even though it clearly didn't fade in. It just kind of appeared abruptly, because that's what happens when I try to capture stuff with the software capture. Although it's nice that it at least works with the software capture instead of me having to do something crazy like monitor capture, which I'm pretty sure I had to do for at least one game that I put on here within, I don't know, I want to say recent memory. But I'm probably thinking of like Hexen or something, which I don't know how recent that memory would be, to be perfectly honest with you. Looks like it's been a hot minute since I did anything to do with that, but yeah, I think it's time for me to try and figure out what I was doing. Let's see, previously on Grim Fandango, we made it to year 3, we made it to this place, which is like some kind of secret ocean base, where apparently the evil bureaucrats from our old workplace are having this evil operation where they steal people's tickets to the afterlife that have actually earned them, and which kind of raises the question of who issues those tickets in the first place, what makes it possible for them to exist. But they also have kids that work as slaves, making apparently literal lamps out of the glowing coral, and Mecha doesn't want to help, if I remember.
Hey, about that gun.
Ready to hand over your heater?
I would if I had one.
Right.
Listen, Mechi.
Manny, talking isn't helping right now, okay?
That might be a bit of a subtle hint. Maybe we're trying to get a gun.
Sir, do you have an appointment?
I'm going in there to tell Domino my demands.
I don't think you fully understand the chain of command around here. Pugsy and BB work for you. You and I work for Domino, who works for Hector Le Mans, crime boss of El Maro.
Well, I think it's time for a little corporate restructuring.
Yeah, but sure, we had this conversation already, though. This dude's got his headphones. I don't know if that implies that we have to do something around here, though. And take advantage of the fact that he's wearing headphones.
He seems completely unaware of how close I am to escape.
I mean, I think you can literally just escape, given that you can Like literally everyone is dead, so they can just walk on the ocean floor.
I've got nothing to say to him.
Well, no, I guess we already had this conversation, and we can't go any farther into this part of the room. I should probably check my inventory too, because I don't remember what I got. We got a tiny hammer pickaxe.
This is the tiniest little hammer I've ever seen.
Yeah, I thought they called it a hammer when I'm pretty sure we got that from a conversation with the kids before, so we got the scythe and we got that, and that's probably all we have right now. But it really looks more like a pickaxe than that tiny pickaxe than a tiny hammer, I wanna say. Depends on how strict you wanna be with your definition, I suppose.
It's empty.
Our type of business doesn't produce a lot of paperwork.
I mean, where would you dispose of that anyway, if anything did end up in that bin?
It's empty.
Our type of business doesn't.
It's empty.
Our type of business doesn't produce a lot of paperwork.
Suppose we have no further comments to make about that, but yeah. I think we can also go back down to the ocean floor, and I think our friend, what's his name? I kind of forgot, unfortunately. I think he's down there somewhere, though. Maybe we need to get something else from him. Kids.
No drawers.
No drawers.
Not moving any furniture today.
See, that no drawers comment I find kind of suspicious, because if there's no drawers in one of these, they just bumps. I've made that comment before, I just forgot.
Really, really sad. Hola, angelitos.
Hello, Mr. Mean Boss Guy.
Well,
Hey, would one of you children happen to have a gun?
Yeah, we do. So stick him up.
Let me see it.
He doesn't have one. He's such a liar. Oh, yeah? Well, you're stupid. Your light bulbs don't work. Your light bulbs all smell like boogers. Ha! Nobody thinks you're funny anymore. Oh, yeah? Well, everybody in this cage is smarter than you. Everybody except for you? Yeah, 'cause I'm especially smarter than you. In your dreams. In your baby bed that's all wet 'cause you wet in it. Shut up, bedwetter! I said shut up! No, really. I have to sleep with an umbrella down here. Oh, yeah? Well, at least I never asked Meche to marry me. What? Miss Colomar, you're so pretty. Will you marry me? I never said that! Oh, Miss Colomar! Stupid baby blue beanie bedwetter! Pugsy the Bugsy lies like a rugsy.
Will you two just shut up?
I suppose this is the state that we've created.
Really, really sad. Hola, angelitos.
Let's see.
Mr. Mean Boss Guy.
Hey, don't cry, children. Please, stop crying. Why am I so bad at this? You children just wait here and be brave little angelitos, okay?
Okay.
Okay, well I guess that made them stop crying at least.
How are my brave little soldiers?
Are you here to rescue us?
I'm working on it. You children just wait here and be brave little angelitos, okay?
Okay.
Alright. Well, I guess if we can't put them back into the crying state at will, maybe we don't need to do anything with that. But yeah, we did find, I guess the only thing that has really changed since we got here, and we actually found people here, was that we got that tiny hammer. And I vaguely remember that we can get to the exterior of this this rigged place. I think we came in this direction yet. What's up with this? The same guy that we came here with. Probably is.
Hold still. Why, I oughta
Bet all these miners were right stills. At least it didn't eat them.
Also, hello Lambda, and thank you for the sub for 36 months. That's a lot. That's 3 years actually. Precisely, if I am not mistaken. So that's quite a bit of time. Thank you for sticking around this long and subbing this much, but let me also try to remember what I'm supposed to say at this moment. It's I think the particular sounds of the screen are a little bit distracting. Something along the lines, okay, here we go.
I don't know how I get down down there without this current taking me over the edge.
I don't know where down there is, but something along the lines of... what should we go with? Other than just thank you, but yeah, thank you. Of course. But enjoy your Bob, enjoy your no ads, enjoy your extra channel points, which you can totally use. And I guess soon maybe I'll be able to say more than just enjoy your Bob, given that I am theoretically in the process of trying to figure out what more emotes to put in these slots I have available now. I may or may not try to make a stream specifically for that in the near future, as I mentioned. Spanish rarely talking to see you as a close friend, but of course I miss some of your content. Well, thank you. Appreciate that a lot, and yeah. Honestly, I do consider that as well. Oh shoot. Not what I just did though, but... I don't know, I feel like I probably also need to make a bit more of a... I don't know what that was about. Probably try to... I don't know, see a few more things in the Discord as well. It's kind of on me. Here's this guy. Has he also been put to work? His name starts with a, yeah, with a G, I was about to say.
You're okay.
Well, it
I
hurt a
did
little
not
when I
remember, though.
hit, but my head cracked open an aft panel here.
I gotta tell you, carnal, I thought you were dead.
Oh, Manny, I've been having a great time. Listen. I ask you, is there an engine that can resist the love that's in these hands?
Apparently not.
Does that mean that we're gonna use this ship as something? Well, I guess it's... I don't know, is this the same ship that got chopped in half in the start of this year? I don't quite remember. I get the feeling that's probably not it, though.
I think this baby's our ticket out of here.
Oh yeah, good point. I was just wrenching it for fun, but your idea's good too.
Mm-hmm. Can't be more to say.
I think this baby's our ticket out of here.
Oh yeah, good. I was just...
I guess we're just gonna point that out again. There only seems to be one direction that we can go to leave the screen again. I guess we can, if we go all the way to the end, that's where we end up. What if we, just go to the other end? Is that possible? Actually, wait. Is there a way for me to not be in the... No, I guess not. I mean, there has to be a way for me to leave the screen the same way I came in, surely. So I'm gonna see what happens if I just try to go all the way to as far in this direction as this will let me. Ooh, okay, here we go. Okay, maybe I saw like this screen before, but not the one that I literally just came from, which is kind of strange, but... What happens if I try to go all the way over here? Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the place that I was trying to reference a few minutes ago. The kind that looks like... a place that kind of looks like a background from one of the Myst games, but... maybe not quite. Can't go right down there. Okay, so it's like a cyclical thing. I don't know, the structure of that seems kind of confusing. So I was just trying to figure out a way to see if I could get back into the screen and actually interact with the dudes here.
Hold still.
Okay.
Lay down your tools. We're busting out of here. Man, if I had only gotten that book back from Terry, I could really start some trouble here.
We're losing the history of that, don't we? How about this guy?
Peter seems a little overpowered by his choice of rules.
Can I get him to...
Huh? Who?
There we go. Can I just talk to himself?
Oh, you is it? Why, I oughta look at my eyebrows.
Specifically, my Windows search service, it will keep crashing after every repair due to a nasty Trojan remnant that won't leave. And too stubborn. I'm determined to reinstall Windows on my dumb workaround is putting in a shortcut of ctfmod.exe in the startup folder. Alternative user input for keyboard, speech, tablet, etc. bypasses the issue. Alternative user input meaning like like the kind of on-screen accessibility keyword that you have for like on default Windows, but a different kind of it, and I guess just trying to search stuff with the regular like Windows Explorer related stuff is what was crashing. The meme solution works, I hate it. Totally mean as long as it works. I wanna say that I've had moments like that as well. Like it's done that this works, but as long as I can have it this way, not the other way. I'm satisfied with that. Unfortunately, I've already forgotten how this conversation began, let's see.
Nice drill.
Drill? This here is a cordless, high-speed reciprocating chisel. And look, it's a bust-all. They usually don't give these to the new guys.
Really?
How'd you get a bus stop?
I'm connected, plugged in, and I had some booty to trade. Trade's the name of the game out here in the Big Reef.
Booty? Where'd you get booty?
It's all over the ocean floor. Jewelry, precious coins. You people and your fancy boats never know about it, 'cause you just never stop and look.
Give me some booty and I'll buy our way out of here.
I traded it all for this beauty.
You traded jewelry and precious coins for a power tool?
It's a bust-all.
Can we use it to bust out of here?
Relax, we're busting out of here soon.
We are done traveling together. I work solo, my friend, and I walk alone.
Like in that song, which probably didn't even exist by the time this came out, but I don't even know.
That tool looks a little overpowered for you.
Overpowered? Nothing overpowers Geppetto.
If you say so.
I mean, can I trade my tiny hammer for that too?
I want to trade something.
Well, you came to the right place, Sonny. What you be needing?
I also need a gun, I guess, but I mean, I assume that I need a gun based on what's been said.
A gun.
Ooh, that's gonna cost some. What do you got on you?
My scythe, my turtleneck, from a blue-green algae.
I think it's some form of blue-green algae.
Ah, don't worry, you get used to it. When you got something worth trading, come see old Geppetto. He'll do you right. Why, I oughta...
Well, can I show him the thing? Maybe I can
This is the tiniest little hammer I've ever seen.
trade this away.
Have you ever seen an authentic little chipper?
A little chipper? No, I haven't. But I'd sure love to give it a test drive. Say, little chipper, you're okay.
Okay.
Ba-dum-da-dum.
Suppose he literally just gave away his power tool in exchange for that tiny thing.
Sweet Mary, sweet.
Alright. Suppose that's step one of whatever I'm going to do, but I'm not entirely sure where I would try to use this.
That octopus. Well, at least it didn't eat him. Lay down your tools. We're busting out of here. Man, if I had only gotten that book back from Terry, I could really start some trouble here.
How much shall we do now? We have... Well, we got the power tool. I guess this is what that's supposed to look like, and it says apparently getting cut in some kind of current, which makes us bob like that and brings us right over to the railing. I'm gonna try to go down there where Glottis is one more time. With that freaking stuck wrench sound effect. But you've heard so many things, I am sure.
Hey, need one of these?
That would have been easier to get her open than with my head, but it's too late now.
I guess we don't need it for here. But yeah, I want to see that I've definitely heard that exact same wrench turning stock sound effect, at least in the handheld Herbs or Sims games. Tim's busting out, and herbs, and I want to say probably also Sims too, even though that's literally the only one in that collection that I never went through completely. Even though that's also got an Ian Stalker soundtrack, which is really, really good, like the other ones from what I've heard of it. Well, it doesn't seem like I can really interact with anything here in this part of the Heaven of Crane range area. What about here? There's this crusher thing. I probably should walk around with this. Not with this. That's the wrong thing. Even though I've had this site for ages. Since you start the game with it, and I guess we're probably gonna keep it until the end.
It's a bus doll.
It's a bus doll. This is what we're probably gonna need for whatever it is that we're trying to do, though. No idea what that is yet, but
I don't want to bust all that.
I don't want to bust all that, even though we probably would like to prevent the evil villains from using whatever this is for whatever they're actually using it for, but... God, how about this? We gotta bust all this rock? Or are we looking at the ocean? We're looking at the ocean instead.
I don't want to bust all that.
I guess we don't want to bust all that. Maybe we can use it to, like, I don't know, free the kids from the
The
cage.
edge of the world, but not the edge I'm looking for.
Or something, but might as well take another look around here instead, as long as I'm here. Now I guess we just got the edge of the world. And some more of it over this way. I don't know, this whole middle of nowhere barren, very kind of a muted colors kind of environment definitely says mist to me, and also I guess the whole rocky, sandy proximity to the ocean kind of environment also says mist to me. I can't stop here, right in the middle. Pretty sure the only places where we're allowed
Can't get out
to
of here. There's no ladder.
leave the drill is the two ends of the crane. Oh, yep. Afterlife sure is a shady place. It's kinda crazy how even after you die you have to do like a year of community service. Not even in the afterlife can you escape bureaucracy. Okay, so I brought this. Could I use it in anything in this room? Maybe the cage, but I don't see myself able to interact with any. Well, what about this?
I don't want to bust all that.
You don't?
That's a little bit of overkill considering it's not locked.
It's not. Okay, this is the first that I've realized that I could even interact with that, so I should probably...
Fly, be free, go by Domino.
Leave us alone. If we get out again, he'll hurt Meche.
Fine then, stay in there.
He is mean.
Kind of surprised that that's literally all that they have to say about that, but...
I don't want to bust all that.
I don't know what we would want to bust all though. Can we try to attack Domino with this? Can we tell Meche that this is a gun?
I think I'd try couples counseling first. Hey, about that gun.
Ready to hand over your heater?
I would if I had one.
Right.
Listen, Meche.
Manny, talking isn't helping right now, okay?
I hope we have
Sir,
something
do
that
you
is at
have-
least
I'm going-
resembling a
You
gun.
got it.
I mean, what's to stop us from trying to use this to
Please put that away.
Okay, he has an actual gun. I guess that's what. Okay, he has an actual gun, so we probably need to actually get that gun for ourselves, I would say. What if I walk behind him, where he can't possibly realize that I've produced this?
That too. Thank you.
Okay, well, is he gonna do this if I take out any item? What about this? Yep. Okay.
That too. Thank you.
I mean, what have we managed to find out so far, except is this part of the desk? Or
Man, that ashtray's so fancy you could eat caviar out of it.
Once you got used to the sooty aftertaste, you'd feel like a king.
I don't know.
I don't want to bust all that.
Can we
I don't
bust
want to
the...
bust all that.
No, we can't bust the friggin' the trash bin either.
I
Wait,
don't
what?
want to bust all that.
Can we not leave? Okay, here we go. We don't want to mess with anything that's inside the building, but we also don't want to mess with anything outside of it unless we do, and I just haven't figured out what that would be yet. There's gotta be a reason why we killed this before anything else, surely. It maybe just has to do with the noise that it makes when we turn it on, but what would that be? I'm pretty sure we can just do that at will. I'm gonna try going back in there one more time and just gotta try doing this in random locations. Which, yes, I know, I get it. That's what we were trying to do, at least not directly. What happens if I take this out here right now? Okay, that does nothing.
Hey, kiddles, check out my bone saw.
Okay.
I don't want to bust all that.
Are you sure?
Hey, kiddles, check out my bone saw.
Okay, so we can make them wail in total terror whenever we do this in front of them. I do kind of have to wonder what the purpose of that is, though. Okay, how about now?
How are my brave little soldiers?
Are you here to rescue us?
I'm working on it. You children just wait here and be brave little angelitos, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess I wasn't able to get them to cry again just at will, just by talking to them again, but now I can make them cry again at will just by doing that. Tormentor of undead children, apparently. I mean, sometimes you just need to figure out what all your options are when it comes to all you can accomplish in every situation, and that means making skeleton children cry, then surely we need to take advantage of that as well.
Please put that away.
I mean, he doesn't seem to care, but I do have to wonder. I still don't understand what the point is of making the kids cry, though. Like, what does that accomplish? Do you care about that at all?
Gun.
Ready to hand over your heater?
I would if I had one.
Right.
Listen, Mechi.
Manny, talking isn't helping right now, okay?
I don't know what would actually help you, but I could try to find out in a very roundabout kind of way. let's get out of here again. Guess we can try going over here directly. One more time. Yeah, there's this. I guess we could maybe try to move the position of this thing.
How convenient.
Is that even possible? We can... Yeah, we can change the direction of this thing, I guess. I wonder if that does anything. What am I trying to say? Able to? Yeah, I guess I am able to just run very fast and go up this end of the conveyor belt, regardless of what I do. Regardless of what direction it's turning in. Oh, we can operate. I didn't even realize that. Even though I'm pretty sure that I saw that button before. What happens if I go like very slightly to the right and try this again? No? Oof. I don't know how precise I need to be with this. What if I just go all the way to the other end and do this? Oh. Wait, what? Okay, apparently dumping the other end of the crane on this side of it caused me to immediately leave the like operator's little cabin or what have you. But I do want to check out if there's anything we can do with the end of the crane now that it's just out here, I guess.
This scoop looks heavier than my last ship. It's not a handheld device. It's not a handheld device.
Yeah, I think there might be something I need to do a little bit differently in order for this to... in order to accomplish whatever it is we're trying to accomplish with this thing. Let's get back on this. I guess Domino also doesn't give a shit about the fact that we're doing this, because I guess he's trying to groom us to take over this place somehow. I want to say that what we had seen before, it just kind of suggested that... Okay, what if we exit the crane right now? If I'm not very much mistaken, the other end of this conveyor belt leads directly into the... into the place where the ship is. And I think this thing over here actually is like the anchor of the ship or something like that. You literally climb down the anchor chain to get down here.
I think this baby's a...
Oh yeah, good. I was just...
Even though it doesn't really seem like there's anything different going on down here. And I don't think we can really do anything with the friggin' jackhammer thing that we got on this screen up here, because I mean, we're hanging on to the... I guess I'm gonna try it. Okay, but... Oh. Okay, hope that I didn't just do something bad, because I feel like I just might have. It would seem that maybe, just maybe, if you try to access the inventory while in this position, that puts you in a very unfortunate position where nothing really happens. Oh, whoops. And also, when I try to click on a different thing, I end up clicking on Cortana instead. Could have made a joke about, like, why are you coming up right now? Maybe I will. Why are you there? Are you even listening to me? Am I doing this right? That's probably a no. Well, that was unfortunate. But yeah, probably not quite as unfortunate as this. I guess I'll try to keep this in mind. As I get the feeling, unfortunately, that right now, if I had known about this subway, I naturally would have saved. If I had thought about this better, I would have saved before this, but right now it seems like I can't even access the escape menu, so I get the feeling that's gonna require an even broader solution for me to be able to get back on track here. Please stand by for just a moment as I try to reset the timeline. Here we go. I need to recapture the... Okay, we're back. Guess I need to reset the software capture even though it's literally Okay, I still have that thing, so I think the only thing that's different right now, though, the only thing that I'm gonna have to do is talk to the guy that gave me the jackhammer before and get that back. Not exactly sure what precisely I'm trying to do, but I guess I could try to... I guess I'm easy to try to speedrun this conversation.
Oh, what? Well, you really...
Well,
Relax.
uh-oh.
Nice drink. Give me... I want to...
How about a boat?
There you go again with the boats.
Apparently he's not a fan
Why
of
do you have to
seeking
nail me?
boats. How about a drink?
Drink.
Ha! We're swimming in the biggest drink there is. Drinks aren't a hot commodity down here. Sorry.
Towel.
Hey, you funny guy, chalkhead.
My friend Glottis to be alive.
What? What happened?
He went over the edge.
Oh, stay away from the edge, I tell you. It's dangerous. I seen whole ships go over it in my time. Their engines in full reverse, trying to drop anchor. But the current, you can't fight her. So stay back.
How about a pair of nice silk stockings?
Ah, now there's a high-ticket item. I might be able to get you some, but I gotta tell you, you couldn't afford it.
Alright.
Just give me some time to...
Time? Oh, no.
Oh, I was trying to figure out what his response was
Well,
to...
I got a long day of grief reckoning to be so...
What about if you ask for help, but I guess we're not gonna see that though. That's why I misclicked, but hey, you already know what's gonna happen here.
Have you ever seen an authentic little chipper?
But
And even if his name is Chipito, I'm pretty sure that calling him Pito would be,
say, little chipper.
would very easily be construed as kind of rude.
Gonna see Miss Liza.
And to be perfectly honest, there's a few moments in which you can kind of tell that the voice actor for Manny does sound like he definitely knows a good bit of Spanish by himself, so he was probably fully aware of that. Okay, hold on. So now it's as good a time as any to actually go into this and save over the... God. I guess this one. Over the last save that we had. Well, let's try this again before I even mess with the conveyor belt controls again. Just go up here. I'm pretty sure this is where you get to where the crate is. Yeah, the controls. So we're gonna try something a little bit different this time, since now we know that if we bring it all the way over here and yeah, drop it on the beach, we can just get right down there ourselves. It's like the one hotspot that technically didn't exist before when we were looking for stuff to try to drill on. Or the... I guess it is supposed to be like a drill more than a jackhammer. Or maybe... I don't know, maybe you would just call it a cutting tool like in Ghostbusters 2. Why are we cutting? Which is also a question that I would probably bring up here. Oh.
I can see why they don't give these chisels to the new guys.
I can't see why I did that, but at least something happened.
This scoop looks heavier than my last ship. It's not a handheld device. It's not a handheld device.
Doesn't seem like we're gonna be able to do much with it now that it's completely detached from the rest of it though, but does that also mean that Surely it doesn't mean that we're kind of stuck on this side of the crane rail now. That would be strange. Strange and unusual. No, I guess we're probably able to go right back into the crane, so I would assume that we can, yeah, still travel to the other location, even though... Oh shit, okay. Okay, that's not what I thought had happened. I thought that the whole part with the chain had been detached, but I suppose we can still lower the chain down, which is probably a pretty good indication of what we should do now, yeah. I suppose this is the time in which we have a much better excuse to actually mess with the direction of the conveyor belt. I thought for some reason the conveyor belt was somehow affected, or was somehow related to the direction of the current here, but no. I suppose not necessarily, after all. Okay, so... I mean, I assume that the only thing that you can do with this is shift the direction of the conveyor belt. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and go in that direction. Let's go right back upstairs when we can. Because apparently the force of this thing going in one direction is no match for our own legwork. And now... Okay, we should go take a look at the other end of this structure and see what it looks like now. I wonder if we're gonna need something else to like attach this to what I assume to be the ship. Okay, now we know not to mess with the inventory button at all when we're in this position. And well, the inventory button isn't even present this time around, which kinda makes me wonder if its presence before was like a glitch. It wasn't supposed to be there at all to begin with, but hey, looks like this is the same chain. No, it can't be the same chain that we just extended, surely, because this existed in the previous timelines before we did anything with that chain.
You're okay.
Well, it hurt a little when I hit, but my head cracked open an aft panel here.
I gotta tell you, carnal.
Oh, Manny.
Yeah, he's got this. At least that one rotor engine thing going.
Asked you.
Apparently not.
I'll acknowledge that Glorious is down here with a very stock sound, but I mean, maybe we're supposed to attach this chain to that anchor, and how do we do that though? I'm pretty sure this isn't the same chain as I guess I might as well take a look at my inventory while I'm down here. I personally don't crash the to make the game hang, I should say. We still have the drill, and we have the scythe as always. I wonder if there's a... No, I think that if we were to take one of those things out and go back up the chain, we would just put it right, put it away again.
I think this baby's our ticket out of here.
Oh, yeah, good point. I was just wrenching it for fun.
Alright, well... It doesn't really look like there's anything else that we can interact with on this screen particularly, though. Also, thank you for the hydrate, Lambda. I do have this all this one, the actual writing on this bottle, even though stuff that I buy from this brand typically isn't translated. This one is translated, but I'm pretty sure it's just like, I want to say sparkling apple cider, but I think it's just apple. It says fresh carbonated apple juice and raspberry juice from concentrate. Non-alcoholic drink, despite what appearances might suggest. It's, well, appearances that don't really have any effect, because my whole presence, as far as not just the stream but anything on the internet is concerned, is purely non-visual. But it definitely definitely matches the very vanilla way in which I do most everything. What about if I just retract this one more time? Will it hang on to the... No? Okay. So we do have to do something different. I wonder exactly what that would be. Wait, what? Hold on. I guess we might have to do a whole bunch of finagling with every bit of the mechanics that we have available in this part. Kind of like, I guess pretty much exactly what we did at the beginning of this part of the game. Say, what would happen if I pull this lever again while the chain is on it? What if I do it another time? Wow, that's a hell of a coincidence right there. And how strong exactly is this crane though? If I were to mess with the controls right now after that, that big ol' coincidence just happened, because it certainly seems like a big ol' coincidence more than anything. What will we see?
You got it to float.
That was the easy part.
That was quick.
Busting through that big coral reef out there.
Bust through a big coral reef, eh? Okay, give me a minute or two.
I guess we just got another, like a giant sunken ship to float again, even though we probably sunk for a reason. And we need to bust through a big coral reef, even though I think pretty much our only big concern would be going against the current, but just literally the current itself. Everything falling off the edge of the world.
Man, was that ever hard to launch?
What can we do with
I
that?
can't board without the others.
Okay, so I guess the first thing that we're trying to do is
Done it already.
get all the non-evil people to come with us before we attempt to do anything with that ship. Does Claudius have anything else to say?
Think of a way to get through that reef yet?
No. Did you?
No.
I guess now there's a reason for this screen to exist. We got that going on over there. And hey, even though we failed to get a gun so far, maybe Mecha will talk to us now. I mean, we know where to find a gun. It's just too bad that it's in an inconvenient position as far as we're concerned. So what, can we just free the kids and get them out of here in the hush-hush, or...?
Fly, be free, go buy Domino.
Leave us alone. If we get out again, he'll hurt Mecha.
Fine then, stay in there.
He is mean.
Well, maybe we'll have something different to say to Mecha at least. Maybe she'll be able to convince them to get out of there. Maybe she'll actually get to the point.
Hey, about that gun.
Ready to hand over your heater?
I would if I had one.
Right.
Listen, Meche.
Manny, talking isn't helping right now, okay?
Well, I guess we really don't want to tell anyone about the fact that we probably have at least the beginnings of an escape plan here. Maybe we need to accomplish something different. Maybe we need to mess with this thing yet again before we're even able to mention any of what we've done to the other people that are around here. Which seems a bit unwieldy, but hey, as long as we can get stuff done. What if I do this here? Oh. Well, that didn't really happen before though, did it? Oh shit.
Yeah, this will do just fine. Just give me a sec to do some figuring.
Okay.
You bet your big orange butt that'll do. Gladys is busy with it right now.
Is there anything else that I can do here? I guess we're gonna use those crushers to try and get past the coral reef, even though I don't really remember any kind of a specific above water obstacle that we saw, but I guess we just didn't see a whole lot of the above water part of this place when we were on our way here. I'm just going on the ocean floor, but oh shit, done that already. Okay. I guess we're done with trying to mess with the chain anymore. That should probably be a good sign. I guess we just leave a loaded to it and make another attempt to communicate with the people that are, well, all three of the individuals that we know about, that we would actually try to make any kind of an effort to rescue from this building. Unless we're gonna fail to mention this to all the other people that are like working like slaves over there. I mean, guess they won't listen anyway, so... Hey Mitch, guess what?
Hey, about that gun.
Ready to hand over your heater?
I would if I had one.
Right.
Listen, Mechi.
Manny, talking isn't helping right now, okay?
Okay, well...
Sir, do you have an appointment?
Well,
Try anything different going on in here. Tried this so many times, we don't even have any, we still have the... yeah, we still have this. Ooh. And we know this guy has a gun, but I still don't see how we're gonna be able to get it from him, if that is in fact what we do. See if recursion works. This guy's still saying
Mary.
stuff by himself.
Ah! Quit yelling!
how'd you get a bus stop?
I'm connected, plugged in, and I had some booty trade.
I want to trade.
Well, what you...
God, okay, so we can bring this up again. What about if we do pick this?
A hug?
Nope. That's the one thing I ain't got for you.
How about a gun?
Done.
Ooh, that's gonna cost some. What do you got on you?
My scythe, blue green algae. I'm pretty sure we brought up the blue green algae before and it didn't really result in anything.
My scythe?
You'd be willing to part with that?
No.
When you got something worth trading, come see old Chapito. He'll do you right.
I mean, maybe we're gonna have to sacrifice his life. Maybe you just gotta do what it takes.
How'd you get a...
I'm and I want what you
I can't...
think small.
You got that stuff?
Well, no, but practically everything else.
Without layering there.
Booty?
It's you could
All over the ocean
give me
floor.
like it's well.
Please.
And apparently that's all that he's willing to say again. Or,
La di da di da da.
well, I guess the part about what specific thing you're trying to trade was something that I saw for the second time, I want to say, but... I don't know, it doesn't seem like we're able to... anything else to trade. There's also this ashtray.
Man, that ashtray's so fancy you could eat caviar out of it.
Once you got used to the sooty aftertaste, you'd feel like a king.
How do we do anything like smoking without lungs, is what I would say, but I suppose technically speaking the first thing that you would,
Ow!
okay.
Oh, my stockings, they're ruined!
First question like that you would ask is, how can anyone talk without lungs, but...
You try to have one nice thing on this cruel island.
Alrighty.
Good enough for me.
What is?
Oh, the speed at which you're working.
That's nice, Manny, but you're not my boss, so really I couldn't care less.
Good. Excellent. Carry on.
Let's remove ourselves from that immediate presence and see if we literally just got that.
You know, a little clear nail polish would fix these right up.
A little clear nail polish. Do we have anything like
I
that?
would never wear these. They have a hole in them.
They have a hole in them. Oh, I guess we probably don't want them to have a hole. Are the kids somehow gonna be able to fix this up? Hey, look what I got.
I'm sorry, kids, but these stockings are all that's left of our poor Meche.
What?
Oh boy.
Hey, I was just kidding.
It wasn't funny.
Apparently, at least they were able to restrain themselves in that one, unlike quite a few of the other occasions in which we've had something to say to them.
I like my old desk better. No drawers.
Well, I think we did hear from the dude from Chipito that apparently stockings are actually a big trade commodity for the kind of trade that he does. But I bet if we try to just give them to him as is, I get the feeling that it's not gonna be good enough. We're gonna have to actually...
Gonna see Miss Liza. Gonna see Miss
to actually
Liza.
fix up a hole, but doesn't know what to try.
Say, these are real silk. Where'd you find them?
I've been wearing them the whole time.
You too? Well then, here's your new best friend.
Wait, really?
Ah, my first Sproutella gun. Is it loaded?
No. Hey, bullets are hard to get.
Alright, I guess I was good enough to get a gun, even with a hole in them.
It's really not much use without bullets.
But hey, we have a gun now, so...
Going to Mississippi.
Even though we didn't even have that gun when we got here, surely this will be good enough to get Madge to trust us, since she apparently was expecting us to have a gun this entire time.
Ah, my first Sproutella gun.
And now we do. Isn't it funny how that works out? I'm actually pretty surprised that we didn't end up having to find a way to fix the stockings, but already.
Here. What good's a relationship without trust?
True, a relationship without trust is about as empty as a gun without bullets. Guess you didn't realize a smart girl always keeps an extra round in her hat for mad days. Come on, let's go.
Meche, you don't know what you...
I know exactly what I'm doing. Now move!
Would you just listen to my escape plan first?
Trouble in paradise, kids?
You're letting us go right now, or your boy Friday here gets it.
Well, I hate to see you go, Manny, but the lady seems to have made up her mind.
I'm serious. I'll shoot him.
Fine. He really doesn't work for me anyway.
But I thought I'll shoot you then.
No, you won't. You're too good, remember?
I'm not good anymore. You've taken that out of me, keeping me a prisoner here. I'm gonna crack you open like a fake wing gauze. I'm gonna...
Kid's all right. She's a firecracker, but a night in the cooler usually dampens her fuse.
Alright, well, I suppose the status quo has changed at least.
Domino!
Hey, sport, how's the escape going? What did you do with her?
I thought she needed a little time out, that's all.
Well, I gotta get back to trying to escape.
Hey, you do that, kid. Knock yourself out.
Alright. Well, Charlie isn't anything stopping me from focusing on that now. I mean, where did she end up? How many different places are there?
It's me,
Oh.
Meche!
is that always there? I feel like that looked different before.
Domino, you'd better let me out of here.
Must be a combination lock, but there are no numbers on
I'm
it. Poor
sorry,
Dom
I
was never
didn't
good with
trust
numbers.
you. I'm getting angry. This isn't funny.
I mean, do we just keep turning it left? Surely that'll be good enough to loosen it. I have no doubt.
Help!
Or maybe not.
It's me, Meche. I think I'm running out of air. I'm in here. Domino, you
know.
better let me out of here.
Now if we need to like find a separate clue for this, or if we can just mess with this
Domino,
until it
you better
lines
let me
up
out
with
of here.
something? No.
I'm warning you, Domino.
And yeah, how can you run out of air without lungs? It seems to be an issue that's probably
running out
gonna
of air.
continue to bug me. I mean, maybe the kids know. Maybe they can help me crack a safe.
Hola, Angelitos.
Hello, Mr. Mean Boss Guy.
New plan. Medge's locked up for good. We're leaving without her.
We can't leave without Meche.
Hey, one of you children happen to have a gun?
Yeah, we do. So stick him up.
Let me see it.
He doesn't have one. He's such a liar. Oh, yeah? Well, you're stupid.
Alright, well, we've seen that conversation, so I guess we don't need to witness that all over again. I don't think.
Anybody?
I mean, I don't think there's anybody else who would really help me with the safe.
Open this door.
I do still have this thing,
I'm getting angry.
and there seems to be only one part of this that we
It's
can.
me, Meche.
I don't want to mess up
Interact
the
with.
wheel. The wheel's my friend.
The wheel. Oh wait, no, there's also this.
I don't want to bust all that.
Don't
if
we
I
though?
bust all the handle,
I
then I'm
promise
never
I
gonna
won't
get in
pull
there.
guns on anyone anymore. Domino, you'd better let me out of here.
I mean, what if I put this away and then try to mess with the handle?
I'm warning you, Domino.
I guess I didn't enter the right
I
combination.
think I'm running out of air.
Oh well, how about this?
Ooh, I bet I could pick
Open this
that.
door.
I could.
Ooh, I bet I could pick that. If only I hadn't lost my union card in that
Let
poker
me
game.
out.
Not picking that up.
Help!
Okay, I guess now there is actually multiple parts to this safe thing.
Hey,
Can we just
getting
mess this
angry.
up at the lock?
I must have hit a major circuit. But it looks like I've exposed the guts here. I don't want to bust all that.
Yeah, well, I wasn't trying to, at least not anymore.
Those are the tumblers of the combination lock.
They are.
I can't move those by hand.
The wheel. What happens if I do turn the wheel now? I guess we might as well try to figure this out. Ooh, okay. Not quite sure exactly what position we're trying to accomplish for these, though. Okay, I think I see how this is. I kind of see how this is working, I think. Okay, so I guess I need the top part of it to be aligned first. But which position would it need to be in, like this? Or like that? I'm guessing it's probably one of those two.
I guess I didn't enter the right combination.
Wait, what? Why is only the bottom part of it moving now? Okay, here we go. Let's try having it like this, and then... having it like that. Does that work?
I
No?
guess I didn't enter the right combination.
I feel like we probably need to leave some space somewhere, but I don't know where. What if I do it like this?
I guess I didn't enter the right combination.
It's not it either. This, maybe? Well, let's try to actually move all these so that they kind of line up. Doing like that, methinks. Let's move all of these at once a little bit more. What if I do it like that? I feel like that's as close as I'm gonna get to having that edge on the
I
right.
guess I didn't enter the right combination.
But apparently not. See, thinking that it's gotta be like that. What if I do it like this? Like, it seems like there's a space on the right side if I leave it like that. Does that work?
What? Oh, when I had them so nicely lined up and everything.
Yeah, I'll see. Not even sure what I'm doing wrong at this point, to be honest. Can I actually look at them? I guess I better try something different. I'm gonna try exactly what I did before. I have them line up like that, yeah. Which is pretty much like this. What if I look at it now?
Tumblers are all lined up flush with the door jamb.
Flush with the door jamb. So what if I do this again?
What? Oh, when I had them so nicely lined up and everything.
Well, maybe we need to take an extra step as well. Yes, I will use the wheel. We'll do this one more time, even though we have been doing this. I have every reason to believe we have been doing this right, but I need to take a little bit of an extra step. So it would seem... Let's see that they're adequately lined up there.
The tumblers are all lined up flush with the door jamb.
Door jam. I'm not exactly sure what jam is signifying in this context, but if we use pretty much our one item that we have to rely on at this point.
Stay.
Okay then. Obviously.
All right, Mitchie, you can come out now. Mitchie?
We're gonna get jumped the moment we get in there. Maybe not. Maybe she's not like very neatly and conveniently hiding right behind the door.
Boy, the bus stall and I really did a number on that door. Uh-oh. Oh, Raul. I am so sorry.
Oops. I was actually kind of wondering if that actually would happen, but...
Looks like I messed up these contacts when I broke through with the bus stall. No. Electrical current makes my marrow tingle. I don't think it's gonna be as easy to pick from this side.
Also, what are these drawers?
Looks like years and years of coral harvest reports. This can't be what this secret safe is meant to hold. They're all locked up. These must be very, very sensitive coral harvest reports.
Also, where did Magic go? That's kind of what we're probably trying to figure out right now. Even though she was screaming before.
Man, people in the old days were huge. Meche, are you in there? It's time to come out, honey. No time for hide and seek. Doesn't look like he'd enjoy a piggyback ride.
Now what about this giant battle axe on the floor?
This must be the big chipper.
How can we use it with anything? What about this? I mean, it doesn't really seem like any of the... Like everything here has an interactable thing. This arrow looks kind of suspicious though. And if it apparently is only gonna make us rotate in place. Seems pretty suspicious if you ask me, but...
Esa cosa is heavy.
Esa cosa. It seems like a bit of an odd word to interject into a mixed language statement, which is weird to begin with, but why that specifically?
They're all locked up. These must be very, very sensitive coral harvest reports. Looks like years and years of coral harvest reports. This can't be what this secret safe is meant to hold.
Did we pick our scythe back up? Yeah, we did. Okay. We still have this too, but I don't even know if this is gonna help us accomplish anything in
I
here.
think that would just bring the whole ugly thing crashing down on me.
Can we bust into the safes with this? Oh, well, we can't quite see.
Bust all my ass.
Can it bust through the door again? Can it bust through the
I already did that from the other side.
circuits again?
I don't think it's gonna be as easy to pick from this side.
We bust the axe?
I don't want to bust all that.
I suppose not. I guess we can try to mess with the axe some more, but I don't know exactly what that's going to accomplish. What would coral taste like? I don't know. Not entirely sure what makeup coral has from a biochemical standpoint. There'll probably be a fair bit of salt in it, just based on the kind of environments it develops in. I suppose I can't.
They're all locked up.
Can't do anything with the axe, at least not anything that seems too obvious right now. I mean, can't bust out of here again. Can't open the safes. And if there's anything that we can do with the axe, I guess I can try to bring it to the center or something. Just can have it as a neat centerpiece, like in that like little mini labyrinth that you have to do near the end of Wind Waker. Always have the weapon fall at the.
No. Electrical current makes my marrow tingle.
What if we use the axe to, or not the axe, but the other thing, the scythe, the more practical version of the axe. Mess with this. Okay, apparently that does all. Well, there you go.
Manny, I knew you would. Why is that door closed?
It was the only way the wind?
Oh.
Yeah, that didn't take long either. Much more here though. looks like it might be a little bit nicer. I guess she also figured out
Hey, this is my room. Go use up the air in your own room.
how to open this before we even got here, and in a very timely fashion too. Get the feeling we're not gonna be needing air if there's a vent up here.
That vent is the only way out of here that I can see. That home plumbing sprinkler system looks like it's about to fall apart.
Sprinkler system for a room like this. It doesn't like the tile stuff going on. Maybe it served a more specific purpose.
What's in these cases?
Take a look.
Are those the golden
It's
tickets
all
or
the
what have you?
double-end tickets Hector and Dom have stolen over the years. Each one
Right.
stolen from a good soul, and now they just sit there.
That's it.
What?
They just sit there. That's what's been bothering me. In the days when I was a hot salesman, I used to see double-end tickets all the time, and they move.
What do you mean they move?
They become agitated around human souls, and the ticket that belongs to you will actually fly into your hand. But these tickets, and the tickets in that suitcase of Charlie's, it's like they're dead.
Why would Hector and Domino be hoarding cases of counterfeit double-end tickets?
Counterfeit. I guess that's where we're ending that conversation too, so... Counterfeit. I mean, if we assume that they're counterfeit, that means that they're not real, meaning that we don't know where the real ones went. And I suppose that would also... I mean, even if they were counterfeit, I think regardless of that, the question is why would they all be hoarded here instead of them trying to actually make good on, well, good quote-unquote, on what their purported plan was, the way it was kind of presented to us before, which is actually selling them off.
Warning. Fire system. Do not touch.
Maybe it's not gonna be that simple, I don't know. Well, what happens if I do touch it? We all get sprinklered? No, apparently not. At least not immediately. Do you wanna talk some more?
Thanks for not shooting me.
Look, I'm sorry. I should have trusted you. It's just that the past 2 years have been pretty tough, you know?
Anything else?
You look like you could use a nice ocean cruise.
Still my travel agent, eh?
You look like you could...
Still my travel agent, eh?
Well, maybe I need to bring the axe into this place. Maybe in here it'll make sense. Maybe if I bring the axe into the shower, things will actually light up. Oh. Okay, I was gonna say, did the scraping sound like start playing permanently because of the way that I transition between screens, but I guess not. Doesn't seem like I can move much farther than this, so... Just leave it there. Doesn't seem to do anything. We probably can't interact with this directly.
I can't reach that high.
Can't reach that high. Well, we do have an extension of our body that we can maybe use for this. What happens if we try to do this? What will this accomplish? No, apparently that's also not quite far enough. Or for this.
I couldn't reach it with that.
For this either, yeah. That kind of actually figured. Try again. Probably won't change anything, but you know. Why don't you swipe at the thing here?
I don't want to mess up my blade.
Swipe at the pipe or swipe at the
I don't want to mess up
suitcases?
my blade.
We don't have the bust up thing still, do we? Maybe we do. Maybe that's what we have to use still. Yeah, we do have it. Okay. What if we try to bust up the pipe?
I don't want to bust all that.
What if we try to bust up the pipes, but the ones that are up here?
I can't reach that high.
Or here, presumably.
I don't
but
want to bust all that.
you probably would want to bust all that, as a matter of fact, but, you know. I mean, I would like to assume that we're... What about this? Can you bust the axe?
I don't want to bust all that.
try this one more time. Actually, hold on, let's try this a couple of different times. Let's try to mess with the valve here one more time, because I don't remember how many times I messed with it before, and oh shit.
Well, this is disappointing.
Not to me. We don't float, remember?
Okay, I guess I accidentally skipped over one of the parts of the dialogue there, but I guess I must have turned that an even number of times and didn't keep track of that, so whatever I did with the site actually worked, but because of that it didn't have an immediate effect, but I guess we're also trying to like recreate the ending of Uninvited here,
That home
but
plumbing sprinkler system looks like it's about to fall apart.
didn't quite work out. Can we move these things out of the way?
Why would Hector and Domino be hoarding cases of counterfeit double-end tickets? Why would Hector and Domino be hoarding cases of counterfeit double-end tickets?
But if we move back over here, presumably the water doesn't even reach shore there, so how do we know where the water is draining into? That's thwarting our attempt to... Okay. I mean, it seemed like the water was draining into this part of the floor, but I guess we can't check that out specifically. That's a bit strange.
Oh, not again.
Well, what if we move this axe over here? Maybe it's supposed to be like another one of the LucasArts games, you know, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The graphic adventure where you do this. Well, you don't do this. You're like trying to recreate a... I was gonna say you're trying to recreate a scene from the movie, but I don't think that did involve dropping a big axe on two people in a chair tied up, even though that did happen in the movie. In order to break the ropes. Oh, that wasn't quite the... Wait, hold on. Can we look at it differently now, or are we looking at the X?
This must be the big chipper.
Oh, we're looking at the X. So I'm gonna try this one more time. It's this tile over here that's a suspicious one. What happens if I leave the axe on top of... Oh, fuck. Top of this one. A little bit more there. It's probably too far, actually. I mean, I don't think the axe is gonna serve as a...
This must be the big chipper.
as a hermetic plug for the drain that we assume to be under there, but I think it's still worth a try, surely.
That home plumbing sprinkler system looks like it's about to fall apart.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the friggin' axe seems to be in the right place here. But how about we try that again? Yeah. It's actually really hard to aim this thing if we assume that we're trying to stand right on the... well, for fuck's sake. Try to position ourselves in such a way that the blade of the axe is gonna be on top of this tile. You know exactly which tile we're looking for, like that's a no-brainer at this point. It's completely unambiguous. Okay, go this way. Okay, how about now? Okay, that was different.
After you.
What about the suitcases?
Forget them. They're counterfeit. They wouldn't fit through this hole anyway. Let's go.
I mean, would all of you fit through? Well, both of you.
Thomas, I'm so glad to see you.
I guess they do fit through the hole with no problems.
Come on, let's go eat some reef.
Alright, that was quick. And I guess Tomato doesn't care that we're doing this.
Like crazy. Full speed ahead.
Failed to get support of the other people that were kidnapped and brought here.
What?
To crew the ship, but...
So are you really going to bring me back and try to get your old job again?
There's no job for me now except to bring you and everyone else here to the end of the road.
But if you aren't going to use me to get your job back, why did you spend all this time trying to find me?
Meche, I needed to find you.
I give you one job, Manny. And look at you, already screwing it up. I suppose you realize that this is gonna go down on your permanent record.
Oh boy. Right, speaking of that Indiana Jones game. For an evil... fight against an evil submarine captain. Is this the octopus eye that we saw before?
Periscope I've ever seen.
It somehow squishes its own entire shape of itself into the submarine. I think we did see something like that, but hey, there he is.
Domino's just the kind of guy to practice Oxford regulation boxing and then pull out a blade when it comes time to fight.
Yeah, I suppose that is something he did. He did make a big point of literally practicing boxing before. I mean, surely we're not gonna be
This doesn't look good for the kid.
doing an actual
I'm not gonna work for you.
Oh, don't worry
hand-to-hand
about
combat
that.
minigame like in that Indiana Jones
Just
game.
consider this your severance.
That was definitely the low point of that. How did we poke the eye instead? Ooh. Shit. Oh. I suppose that did do the trick.
I don't believe you, Calavera. You're losing a fight, so you pick on one of my pets? Why aren't you more like me, Manny? I've been trying to show you how, but you don't listen. If you just adopt the proper attitude, just look what could happen to you.
Okay, I guess the kids are pretty strong. They can just do that. Or maybe mine is just very light. I was actually kind of wondering what would happen if... Well, move forward one more year again. I was kind of wondering what would happen if... since I guess we know that the dead can double die if they apparently have flowers growing in them, but... What would happen if their bodies were destroyed? 1 year later, we're in the middle of the plot of The Lost Army by Valerio Manfredi.
Name?
Pugsy Poligiano, sir.
Waiting room number 2. Next.
Flores! Flores! ¿Estás bien?
Oh goodness.
Glottis? Where'd you go this time?
Well, that was a bit unusual. That, well, you can't see this either, but I'm pretty sure the border for the... I can move this for just a moment so you can't see this. The border for the 4x3 letterboxing changed from the kind of blocky triangular pattern that it had before to like a skull pattern. Kind of odd. Kind of interesting though. But let's get this back to a place where that's not necessary. There we go. I wonder where he went, but...
Where is everybody?
Waiting area 2.
How long do they have to wait in there?
Until they have tickets. They were issued tickets on the number 9, and they don't have them now. The punishment for selling double-end tickets is very severe.
They didn't sell their tickets were stolen.
By who?
Hector Le Mans stole them to sell to rich people who don't deserve them.
That might be them now. Let's see just what they deserve.
So this is the place that was at the end of the line, even though... Do we know what that is? I feel like we probably are supposed to know what that is, but I forget. Oh, goodness. Yes, they weren't going to end up in Tlalocan or anything like that. Do we have anything more to say?
What happened to that train?
Your destiny cannot be purchased.
I don't understand. Why has everyone been detained?
Given a ticket, a soul may not sell it.
They didn't sell their tickets. Someone else is trying to.
Bring the tickets, that is all.
The tickets are in El Maro. How can I get there quickly?
These rails are already there.
Well, thanks for the help.
The gate opens. The gate closes. It does not help.
Is the gate already open? Does the gate open and close at will, or is it facetious? Not terribly sure, but actually probably since we've reached, I suppose, new stage of the game, probably would be a good time now to go ahead and continue making new saves. Probably a good idea, yeah. Hey, is this the same guy that we met before on the bottom of the ocean? Did he come with us?
Oh, not again. Hey, how'd you get free?
I was born free, Boatnik. Nobody gave me no ticket, so nobody can take it away.
So what are you pacing around here for?
Trying to unwind a little bit. All those years circling in one direction. Gotta even out my life in this world before I go on to the next, you know? Well, that ought to do her.
Goodbye, Chapito.
Happy trails, Captain. And thanks for setting me straight back there in the drink. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under some seaweed. No, I'm gonna let it shine.
Because if you don't have a ticket, you literally just walk right down the rails. And you just go off. But if you do have a ticket, you can't just do that, I suppose. Now what's going on here in these textures?
Wow, this mural has all the stuff we didn't put in the brochures. I don't need a map now. I'm here. I'd rather just buy the postcard in the gift shop.
Well, what happens if we try to go in there right
I
now?
could actually do it. I could walk out of this world right now and not look back. But I can't. I can't do it. I'm not leaving without the people I promised to save.
I gotta tell you, this BGM seems pretty nice too. Would make at least 2 different tracks that actually stand out to me quite a bit of stuff in this game so far. Let's just go back out the way I came. Yes, it does. Okay. Just have to make sure of that. We kind of teleport from that entrance to just kind of being in the middle of this area when we come in. Here are the tracks.
Let's go all the way back to El Maro.
Are we going back to El Maro? Can we mess with the tracks
Well, it's not that I'm
themselves?
afraid or anything, but there are easier ways into the station, and I'm not walking back to El Maro. Not picking that up.
Recently, I was visited by a bird with a human head. Do you know such a bird, Manuel Calavera?
No. How do you know my...
He knew you, and for you, he left this. No.
Maybe it was one of the pigeons that we produced back in El Maro.
I know what you're up to. I've been watching. Stay there. I'm coming to sprout you myself. Yours truly, Hector Le Mans. Híjole.
Okay. guess we screwed up the pretty big arm of that operation he had going on in the ocean base, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, Gran Demonio Roidor. Oh, Gran Demonio Roidor.
Glottis,
Hear the name of the Great One. Glottis.
what's happening?
What indeed?
How many days has this Grand Demon gone without driving?
Well, we've been hiking for months.
Months? Oh, then the Noble One will surely die.
But
And that's where we cut that off, alright. Unexpected.
what's wrong with him?
Do you not know the one purpose, the one skill, the one desire of this humble spirit?
Yes, but we've been so far away from cars and civilization for so long.
Why did he ever leave his home?
I got him fired, and then I needed a ride. Oh, Gladys, what have I done to you? Can you cure him?
His spirit has fallen so low, normal driving would not cure him in time. He needs to go faster. Faster!
Faster. Anything to do with what they called him before, which was like great rodents even, by the way.
Do you have any vehicles here that we could use to revive him?
Only the trucks that deliver the souls, but they are slow. So slow.
Maybe he can tune them up. I mean, apparently he's very good at that.
Who are you guys?
We are mechanics, but we have never before seen one of our kind so large.
I've got to go see what I can do.
Come back quickly, for his time here is not long.
And is this Mecha then?
I wonder if she blames me.
Probably. Wonder what happens to the, I guess the little angel kids already went in.
Meche, we have to get back to Amaro for the tickets.
Oh, Glottis.
Meche,
Oh, Glottis.
I suppose he's not gonna move from here. We need to figure out a way to help him now.
hey, how about a gondola ride, gremlins?
He's too big. The gondola is too slow.
I'd feel too self-conscious carrying that around. Gondolas? I knew we should have checked this side of the mountain before we walked up.
Well, who knows, maybe taking the final possible opportunity to walk up something that steep is actually gonna help you in the long run, whatever that is at this point. There's a little kitchen.
Your mother doesn't work here. Since nobody listened to my last warning about keeping this refrigerator clean, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to lock it until some of you grow up. Signed, the Facilities Department.
Alrighty then.
Your mother does... No, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to lock it until some of you grow up.
Well, sure enough, it doesn't really seem like we can interact with the fridge itself directly, so... I guess we're only aware of that there's a locked fridge in here. What about this?
It's the mug rack at the end of the world.
For some reason I thought that might be something that you, I don't know, stick notes into, or maybe hang, I don't know, utensils, like big spoons or spatulas from, rather than it being a mug rack. I feel like the former one of those things is something that I've actually seen a lot more frequently. And a toaster. Can we grab this mug rack?
The last thing I need is a cheesy novelty mug, especially one that says gondola mechanics do it without a net. Sadly, I have no mug to hang. But then what would the little mechanics toast their tiny English muffins in? There's a note next to this toaster. To avoid further mishaps, please butter your English muffins after you toast them. Facilities.
I mean, that would probably be a common mistake. Would
It's
imagine.
closed.
I'll open it.
It's full of rags.
I'll take some.
Always a good idea to have a clean rag around.
I suppose it's assumed to be clean. Alright, we now have a clean
I
rag.
already have a rag I don't know what to do with.
And I guess we're gonna leave that open too. Oh, and we got this death threat from evil villain. What about, what if we toast this rag? Oh, never mind. Oh no, never mind. Oh, no, never mind. I had to like put that away for a moment, I suppose.
Happiness is a warm rag.
Did we really just like do that for a moment and now it's a warm rag?
Say hello, Mr. Rag. Hello.
Oh. Is it warm rag or does it have like a burnt spot on it? I feel like we need to maybe take a look at that again.
It's a lovely rag.
It's slightly heated up now that we literally put it in the toaster.
Well, it's good to know they recycle oil out here at the end of the world.
What makes you say that? I mean, is that usually what's indicated by these barrels?
My joints don't need any oiling right now. Not paid to move those.
Actually, isn't this the same model of, you know, for these cabinets with the red
How eerie. They lock up their
edges
tools just like Gladys.
that we sold way back in like the garage in Olmaro at the beginning of the game? I get the feeling that they are a bit of a subtle, you know, speaking of recycling there. I think it's years old right now. Well, you know, we have a pretty good idea of what's over there, I think, but what if we go a little bit farther over here?
Gladys would love these.
I mean, what are these? I guess these are the same type of vehicles that we've heard about before. We also assume that they're too slow to revive Gladys.
Looks like standard DOD issue. Bruno? Bruno Martinez?
You were the guy who packed me in there. You could have at least given me a magazine. 4 years with nothing to read but this damn mug. What are you doing here? And if you were headed this way, why didn't you offer me a lift? Ah! Wait, I'm getting out of here. This world's for suckers.
At least he doesn't have to put up with it much longer, I suppose. Well, now we have a mug. But we will actually have to make use of this.
I drink it, but I don't want to get a packing foam mustache.
A mug full of the same packing foam that we actually packed that guy in there with. Seems that I do remember, because it was the only time that we went through the land of the living.
There's some packing foam in here with a Bruno-shaped dent in it. I already got a mug full of that stuff.
Maybe we should get more.
It's full of caskets. Hello? Give me a break. Those stairs are murder. Hello? They're empty.
But if they're empty, why are they here? I mean, wouldn't it actually make more sense to, for them to not be empty, like the one that guy came out of?
Nothing in the cab but donut boxes and coffee-to-go cups. Locked. Probably to keep out the Yeti. Not picking that up.
I mean, I don't see any Yeti, do you?
That's the road we came in on. Nothing out there but snow and a perfectly good pair of sunglasses.
I don't really understand the correlation between those two things, but I would say that at least one of those things might seem desirable. But hey, I guess we did get some, we did get a mug, which is apparently full of packing foam.
It's the mug I gave Bruno, and it's full of that foam I packed him in.
I'm not entirely sure why we want this, or how we're gonna combine this with a rag, but I don't know, do we just hang it on the mug rack? Just for the hell of it.
I hate it when people leave their crusty mugs out in the break room.
I'll just become one of those people. Not entirely certain what that's going to accomplish or help accomplish, but let's go over these again. We have the threat, we have the scythe, and we have the rag. Shall we show this threat to match it to get it to snap out of it?
I think that would only raise the alarm level here.
Well, apparently we don't want to do that.
Meche, we have to get back to Olmaro for the tickets.
Oh, Gladys.
Gladys, I'm sorry.
Manny.
Why didn't you tell me you were sick?
Couldn't stop. Have to save everyone.
Are you in much pain, my friend?
Only because I let you down, Manny.
What can I get you? Will anything help?
I need to race to fly like the old days, Manny. In the bone wagon.
But the bone wagon's not here, carnal.
Maybe I'll see her on the other side.
Even though we're pretty much happy on the other side this whole time. But the other side somehow.
Can't we make a new hot rod?
Those days are done, Manny. No more hot rod. Hey, what's that red thing?
The gondola?
Sweet decal work. Listen, fellas, somebody get a pen.
Alright.
There it is. My final work. It could save me if you have the right... fuel.
What fuel, Glottis? Glottis!
Right fuel. I mean, shall we study this in more detail? Seems pretty important.
It looks like blueprints for a rocket sled. They're brilliant. It looks like blueprints for a... Hey, can I see those for a second? They're brilliant.
This is mechanics work.
I mean, does that mean that you're gonna be able to give us some enlightenment?
It looks like blueprints for a rocket sled. Hey, how about a gondola ride, gremlins?
He's too big. The gondola is too slow.
I'd feel too self-conscious carrying that around.
A rocket sled. And apparently we're gonna look for some kind of special fuel. I mean, we have apparently drops of oil down here.
My joints don't need any oiling right now.
Can we create an oily rag with this oil? We want to create an oily rag with this oil. Oh.
This better not stain my pocket.
We put the oily rag into the toaster and see what happens, since we apparently were able to do that already. Okay. Wait, what? Oh shit, I forgot about that. I suppose we were setting that up.
What was in that mug? Something that
Without meaning.
could fuel a rocket. If only we had more.
Well, I could score you a couple of truckloads if you're interested.
We shoot you now like a
Alrighty then.
wind. May you pierce the heart of the wind itself and drink the blood of flight. Speed is the food of the great Glottis. Speed bring you life. Come back to us someday.
I suppose we assume that this isn't gonna conflict with anything else that might be on those rails, though. Oh, wait, are we going back to, El Maro this way? How fast is that gonna go?
You sure this thing's going to hold together?
At least most of the way. Hey, look! We're already to Rubacava.
Manny? Manny? Manny, where are you? Manny, I'm frightened!
Oh shit. Yeah, it wasn't exactly a walk in the park between Rubacava and El Maro, though, so...
Ah, Rubacava! What a town! Remember the glory days, Manny?
Long gone, my friend. There's nothing here for us now.
Except maybe our old car.
Did we leave our old car here? I
Dios mío.
suppose we might have.
Booby-trapped.
By who? Who?
Well... I mean, we assume that Maximino's still around here, right? Maybe. Never really put him out of the picture.
Poor guy. So nervous. I think he's gonna be sick. Don't panic.
But I think this is probably another good time to save once more. See exactly how we're gonna be doing better.
I'm
not setting foot down there. The slightest bump could start those dominoes tumbling.
Suppose the final part of it, yeah, the final dominoes in this sequence would activate some kind of explosive that would destroy the car, which kind of begs the question. What if someone literally wanted to come here and just destroy the car? Wouldn't really be a deterrent.
Like Domino left his calling card.
But how? I saw him torn to shreds.
He must have done this on his last trip through town.
I mean, but when was that? Was that before we even left? Wouldn't we have noticed something at that point? Can we go back into the cat track, or is that out of the question?
Maintenance has gotten pretty lax around here, apparently.
I guess we're not going back that way. How about this? I guess we saw this gate many times before, and you're told time and again that it's like, no, there's nothing over there. There's clearly no reason to try and go over there. Don't do that.
That goes to the upper dock, but nothing's docked there now.
I suppose that's still gonna be the case. I mean, can we maybe get some help from the... This goes over to that cafe, right? Yeah. It's over there. Oh, this man's still here.
Manuel Calavera? Well, what happened to the Limbo?
Hate to tell you, Velasco, but she went down at the Pearl. But we found a new ship, the SS La Mancha, and managed to...
The La Mancha? My old rusty bucket. Where is she?
Oh, well, we traded her in Puerto Zapato for a team of sled dogs.
That does it. I'm out of this stinking mob town.
But
Thanks for finding my baby, Manny. Puerto Zapato, here I come.
Mob town?
I think that was kind of obvious even before we left, though. So, why did he leave behind?
You'd think after 2 years he'd have the little SS Lumbago's lifeboats on at least.
Oh, the thing in the bottle. Do we
Maybe
need
I'll
this?
just finish this for him.
I guess we can carry it around with us at any rate.
I'd drink it, but I'd probably get the SS Lumbago stuck in my throat.
We now have, I suppose, an incomplete ship in the bottle.
It's locked.
We could go to that freaking beatnik nightclub over there. We could try to go to the docks and see how the bees are doing. If they're even still around. I don't see anything like that right now. No. Can I go over to the lighthouse? Is there anything of importance there? It's not gonna be like the lighthouse from those deep sleep flash games, which were kind of an interesting thing in their own right, but I guess we can still come all the way up to the top here, but yeah, and still lament what happened to Lola. Wait, what? And also watch our spooky floating shadow down there as we're up here. Makes for an interesting sight, at least. I suppose there probably isn't anything for us anywhere out here except for maybe that club, so let's make a beeline for it. I can't take the elevator, I assume, here. We're locked out of a good chunk of the places here. Blue casket. But even this place doesn't have any people in it anymore. We relive the glory days of trying to make up a beatnik poem.
I just can't do it without an audience.
Will I do?
Olivia.
Calavera, what are you doing here? I heard you went pow in Zapato, Daddy.
Well, Hector Lemans tried and missed. Now it's my turn. I'm headed to El Maro to put him out of business.
Manny, that place has changed. You don't know what you're getting into. I'd better come with you. Just give me a minute to get ready.
Okay, but if you hear a loud explosion anytime soon, the trip's off.
Okay. Shall we get anything else from here? What's with this big barrel?
Coffin shooter 1, 2, 3, just pour, chill, and serve. I don't need the hernia. I would, but I hate sucking gelatin straight from the tap.
I guess we don't need the dirty dishwater anymore, like we did the first time we were here.
I'm not gonna eat off of dirty plates, and I'm not going to clean them. Dirty plates can stay put. They still haven't done these?
Are they in the exact same position? I mean, maybe we
Nothing in
found...
the dishwasher.
Maybe they found better things to do with their their death. That was somehow more fulfilling. Finally, what I have in my pocket right now. I have the scythe, I have the death threat, I have the ship in a bottle. That's it, okay.
No.
No? We don't want to bring out the scythe right now?
Not here.
Not here. What about the other thing? Shall we put gelatin in the bottle? Wait, really? I mean, I'm gonna have to figure that this is here for a reason, but I don't really see the logic behind
That's
this.
what the lumbago diorama needed. Fake ocean water.
No, is that what it looks like now? Fake ocean water. It's apparently blue jelly with a ship inside. That you can't really see through, so it kind of defeats the purpose of mixing the two together, but I guess we have that now.
I just can't do it without an audience.
And apparently my audience has gone AWOL, so guess we'll have to work something out. See, it's a very poignant game. I mean, how far back can I go? I can go over here. I can look at the booby-trapped place where they keep the car. I suppose in theory what I'm waiting for is the lady what's-her-face to come back. I can also go to the other end of the train tracks, I would imagine. The place where the tattoo guy was, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go over there. Might as well take a look. Might as well check every extreme of this place. That looks like it might be accessible. I'm guessing this might be closed off. Unless we can actually still get in there somehow. No, we can get in there. Use the telephone.
I wonder if Inez has cooled off yet.
Hold still!
Hello, operator? Yeah, it's me, Manny. I was just passing through town and... Wow, still mad. Stop moving. Not picking that up. I don't want to wake up Toto. I don't want to wake up Toto. I think these are binders of tattoo designs. They're labeled nautical and nice.
Is that a joke from that one comedian guy that uses the puppets whose name I've completely forgotten? Oh, let's get here. Can we?
Toto's plum tuckered out. No, I don't want to disturb his grumpy little dreams. I don't want to wake up Toto. Not picking that up. That's one old fridge.
Don't want to wake him up even though.
Toto's plum
Your
tuckered
mother
out.
will love it.
I mean, because I can come in here, I would like to assume that there's a reason I want to come in here,
It's a
but
little cabinet.
what's in the little cabinet? Oh, what is this?
Stop moving. Liquid nitrogen, not to be used on bone.
Liquid nitrogen.
I kill you.
Yeah. I think that that I kill you thing is supposed to be you know, it's clearly a very, very poignant reference to the landmark of point-and-click control games, Clock Tower. No, I do think that's a reference to that one, Puppet Man's, whose name I'm completely ignorant of, like I said, though. Oh, we have liquid nitrogen, we have like blue jelly in a bottle, ship bottle. Not too sure how we're gonna use them together though.
There can't be too much in here. I'd better save it.
Maybe we keep the liquid nitrogen instead of using it for a puzzle here.
I'd drink it, but I'd probably get the SS Lumbago stuck in my throat.
If we hold it across here, no? I mean, you could just don't know, it feels like it probably would be a very effective way to just completely disarm this, but... I'll tell you, what do I know? Not too sure what to do with these things, and I'm still kind of waiting on what's her face. I don't know if I need to go back there though.
That's what the lumbago diorama needed. Fake ocean water.
I can't use this
I
though.
don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that.
Do you want this?
What's that?
It's, lumbago lemonade. Try it.
Okay.
Perkly little aperitif, actually. Yes, sirree. Not bad at all. Tell me where you got that right now!
Olivia's kitchen.
Lumbago lemonade!
Manny, aren't we in a hurry?
Don't worry. This won't take long.
Oh, my stomach don't stretch like it used to.
Oh, Glottis.
Oh?
He looks like he's about to blow too.
So he drank the whole keg of the thing that was over there, which I don't quite understand why he would have been so obsessed with that in the first place, but...
So what is that stuff they pack canned hams in anyway?
I suppose it's just too bad that he has
Good show, my friend.
You wouldn't have
into
to have
us
a breath mint on you, I suppose.
to do that. That little fanfare, I guess, is okay. This is just completely coated in that stuff. In this absolutely uniform way.
It's not gelling.
It can't gel now. It got all nice and warm in my belly.
I suppose it's all going to somehow well, we have liquid nitrogen, so I guess that's what we use it for. Surely one tiny drop of this is, yep, all it will take to make all of this completely freeze over.
I bet I could keep it down now that it's cold.
Just let me get across first, okay?
Yeah, probably not a great idea, so let's just remove the dynamite, I suppose.
Fiendish. Well, here goes nothing.
Right. That's a pretty quick segue, too.
Looks like Hector's taken over the whole town.
He hasn't had much resistance. There's only one small group who oppose him, and they live out on the fringes of the city.
Places
They're all
like
here.
this, you mean?
I hope they're not hurting Glottis.
Ha! Shows what you know about this group. Their leader is a great man who...
Manuel Calavera, we meet again. I see you have found what you were looking for. How fortunate for you to arrive now, just as we too are about to achieve success. Our army has grown, and right now our top agents are in Hector's weapons lab, about to close in on the enemy in his own den. I couldn't have done it without you, Manuel.
It was a trap.
Stand back. There's only one thing to do.
What?
Thank you, sir. You have saved me. But more than that, you have enabled me to continue to serve the movement.
What did you say about a trap?
Hector uncovered our agent in his weapons lab.
No.
You idiot, Bowsley! Your new lab assistant is a spy! Haven't you ever heard of a background check?
What?
No time to explain. Now I'll have to take matters into my own hands.
Take me with you. I've longed to be of service to your cause for years.
Oh yeah, it kind of struck me that I thought what's her face over there was not the one we were waiting for, Olivia, but it was actually presumably her, the old secretary that was secretly a double agent.
It's my ex-boss's ex-secretary, Ava.
You're never gonna let me forget the secretary thing, are you?
I mean, the guy's not even around anymore, so...
Any messages for me?
Nope, calls stopped coming for you the day you left. They're still sending you that lingerie catalog, though.
I'll go figure. And hey, look, the pigeons that I made possible.
I wonder if this is little Manny. Come here, little Manny. Ow! Hey, must be little Mitchie.
Oh.
Already got some.
Oh, but you got some pigeons? Well, not right now.
This camera's showing nothing but flowers. Must be another fallen agent. Who's the plant nut?
That nut is Hector Lamont's personal munitions expert, Bowsley, a.k.a. the florist. That was his job in the old world, but here he is a botanical weapons expert. This has left him fairly conflicted.
Why does he make Sproutella for Hector instead of our side?
We've been trying to recruit him for years, but his lab is in Hector's tower. He's untouchable.
It's attached pretty well. Bet if I could get that plant lover out of there, I could talk him into making a gun for me instead. Bet if I could get that plant lover out of there, I could talk him into making a gun for me instead. This scammer sprouted as well. That's 3 LSA casualties in one night. It's attached pretty well. Nothing to see but flowers.
Well, I don't think they ever really expound upon the whole logic between flowers make the dead completely dead. It just kind of happens.
Better save this part from sprouting.
What part? Oh, the hand? The other hand?
I wonder how that soldier's getting by without this arm.
I guess that part hadn't sprouted yet, but we're just gonna be carrying it around right now. I guess the soldier didn't bother checking for it.
Already. The rest of him has gone. It's the part of that soldier that didn't get up and hop out of here on one hand.
How silly when he apparently had the whole other hand to also fall back onto, but didn't realize it.
To all agents, priority urgent. In light of the recent disappearances, all agents are ordered to avoid travel in unlit areas until further notice.
You sure that's gonna help, though?
Memo. To all agents. Nah. In light of the recent disappearances, all agents are ordered to avoid travel in unlit areas until further... Hey, Eva finally got that radio working.
Really?
Calling all cars. Calling all cars.
Manuel, is everything okay?
Just testing the equipment, Sal.
Salvador, maybe you should shut that thing off so we can talk.
Don't let me know if they did.
Probably get me court-martialed. I bet the agent in this photo is the poor guy that Hector just shot.
I wasn't expecting to be able to pick up a photo from interacting with whatever that is, but...
I bet the agent in this photo is the poor guy that Hector just shot.
I suppose I'll just hold on to that.
Nothing else in there besides that agent's photo. Okay, here's the plan. I need a disguise so I can get close to Hector, and a gun so we'll have something to talk about when I get there.
If you figure out that part, I'll go find out where he is.
His casino tower is directly above these headquarters.
All right, meet me there.
Never counted on that we were here.
Dangerous work. She could be very useful to the cause.
As far as I'm concerned, she is the cause.
Suppose we probably had to do that if that just caused her to move away. See, what's this?
Hello down there. Ooh, never mind. Go back to sleep, whatever you are. Hello down there. Not picking that up.
Are we going somewhere else? Or I guess he's just gonna keep on hanging out over there while we move out on foot. Now what's over here? I guess we have to go up into the tower maybe to try and move into some kind of final confrontation stage, but what we find out what's...
I don't know what's down there, but I have issues with it.
Or maybe not. Guess we're not gonna find out what's down here, maybe. What about this though? Hold on. Looks like we can interact with this vent. Great.
How about this one? Anyone down here? Monsters? Again? Can anyone hear me besides the scary monster? Dang.
Well, who knows? That might be useful given the circumstances. Guess we're gonna be looking into this other objective first, though.
Go to sleep, sure thing. Close your big clear blind eyes.
Apparently the casino's up there, but there's also another big ladder going even farther up.
Gotta figure out some way to disguise this pretty face before I hit the streets.
I guess we're not gonna do that then. Not hit any kind of disguise, or not leave without finding some kind of disguise. Maybe these guys can help us find a disguise. It's gotta be like the very final act of Gabriel Knight 2,
like
where
Johnny Thunder lets just anybody in his review. No. I mean, being allowed to wear the Johnny Thunder makeup is an honor. Yes. A privilege. Yes. So I said to her, you give me that 10% discount or I'm taking my business elsewhere. You said that? Well, oh yes, I was mad, you know. And then, here's the good part. So what did you...
Alright. Hey, can we have a chat?
Oh, are you here for the Thunder Boy tryouts?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's too bad.
Because we just got the last 2 parts.
Maybe next season.
So, can we try that again and deny that this
Hey,
time?
get lost, pal. No autographs.
I get the feeling that they wouldn't have responded much better anyway. Oh, but we can just climb up here with no fanfare. What's up here?
This lever is attached to the fake snow supply.
Fake snow supply.
This snowmaker is huge, but the grinder part looks handheld.
Thanks to grinder part
It's
is...
a handheld grinder.
I was gonna say ours now, but I guess we can't remove it from here. What's up with this? I would leave this place with the handheld grinder in hand. I guess we can, never mind.
No autographs.
Don't say.
A real amateur?
Show business coffee.
Is that the brand of the coffee or what?
A little too hot for my pockets, thank you.
It's okay.
I don't see any place to serve coffee here.
Of course, as soon as I save up enough money for a double-N ticket, I'm out of here.
What? You can't just buy a double N?
Well, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows Hector Lamans.
Wow, you know everybody. Wow.
Can we take this thing
I don't see
elsewhere?
any place to serve coffee here.
Can we pour this coffee on their heads?
Oh, coffee, great.
About time we got a PA around here. Hey, kid, keep it black, keep it coming, all right?
Really? Oh, coffee, great.
Oh shoot, didn't actually meant to do that a second time. Well, maybe we can somehow sabotage this coffee and get them to drink it, and that'll be good enough to get us a costume.
It's about time.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess so.
I'll just leave it again, I guess. Know that this whole area exists. There's a bunch of utility over
Out of
here.
the dressing room. We got all the Thunder Boys we need.
It's alright, never mind. I guess we're not going in there. Is there anything that we can, like, spike the coffee with? What's this again?
I bet the agent in this photo is the poor guy that Hector just shot.
Wait, we still have this?
Liquid nitrogen, not to be used on bone.
Okay, maybe we can spike the coffee with liquid nitrogen and serve it to these guys.
There can't be too much in here. I'd better save it.
And for something other than this, I mean, what else can we possibly save it for? What could be more important than this?
I think that would be disrespectful.
Well, I think more disrespectful would be just forgetting about your own arm if you have the possibility of just still salvaging it. Oh shit, I forgot about this.
It's a handheld grinder.
I don't know. Can we go back? Yeah. No, here's the thing though. I don't think that there's anything else for me down here either. Probably do need to stick up there, but apparently the liquid nitrogen in the coffee trick wasn't quite good enough. Wasn't quite good enough to get me what I wanted. I'll just please go up there. It's kind of what I want to go on the ladder. Let's try this one more time. Yeah, I don't think there's much more that we're going to be able to do beyond the get these guys to get something from these guys. Let's try this. We know that we can't take this out of the screen via that way or that way. What about this ladder that I did not realize was a ladder? Nope, apparently we do have a pot of coffee in our hands, still go figure why. And there's the guy right down there.
Ah! Ow! Oh, what did you do that for?
I didn't.
You melted my makeup. I can't go on like this. I took you under my wing, and this is how you pay me back.
No, it's not like that.
So does that mean that we can just completely steal their part in the show now? Just conveniently, is there a queue gonna come up while they've been inconvenienced in a way that makes them be completely removed from the...
This is your lucky day. We got an opening and you're the newest Thunder Boy in the Johnny Thunder Review.
Yes, I've been working for this moment all my life.
Then sit on down, we gotta start your makeup. Now don't go too far, you never know what time is showtime around here.
Oh. Well, we have a disguise now. Does that mean that we can just go and take the other passageway? Perhaps we shall, and perhaps this would actually be well, in spite of my ignorance of how exactly the remainder of this is going to be structured, this would be a good time to end things off, and we'll see. Well, we were able to make it out of there at least. If you just go out into a hallway, which supposedly is reminiscent of the old specifically the casino that we had in the second town in Ruakawa in the year when we were first over there.
Hi, que alivio. Can't remember the last time I had access to a men's room. I'm okay for now.
These skeletons have no problem whatsoever. You know, speaking without lungs and doing a whole lot of things that would involve breathing without lungs. I don't know how they're gonna handle going to the bathroom, but let's take a quick look around, I think. Like I said, I'm probably gonna be calling it real soon.
I think this is his good side.
Even though it's been a bit of a shorter time, I'm getting tired.
Going up?
This elevator goes up straight to the penthouse suite of Hector Lamans. Mr. Lamans, he only do the business with the very select elite clientele.
Hey, what?
I'm select, and I'm very elite.
You look like you work in a meat locker to me, pal.
These aren't my regular clothes.
Well, when you get your regular clothes, I'll give you the regular treatment.
Well, I must have misheard the first statement that he said there. Instead of elite clientele, he said something else clientele, and that was kind of an incomplete sentence there, which is why I was confused for a moment. Yeah.
I can't go strolling through the halls now. I'm on the lam.
I mean, you really think anyone's gonna recognize you like this? That would be a bit of an impressive feat, but you never know. You might have like a Mr. Dark from Rayman going on with Hector at this point, where he's somehow watching your every move, even when you're in a ostensibly safe position. Oh dear. I guess this would be as good a time as any. Let me see if I talk to this guy one more time and see just re-emphasize that.
Out of my way. I'm in show business.
What show? You can follies?
Look, I just want you to understand that I'm totally sympathetic to the extremely intense power trip you're on. But...
Beat it, or should I say, mush!
Hey, weren't you once a tube switcher repairman?
Yeah, but they took out the whole tube system. It kept getting jammed. Not my fault. Now, finally, I am free to pursue my one true desire.
Elevator operation?
Yes.
Well, since demons apparently have hyperfixation.
Johnny Thunder isn't gonna be happy about this.
Maybe Mr. Thunder needs to spend more money on wardrobe.
Well, he's not gonna repeat that, is he? Well, I suppose he's gonna continue to emphasize that I apparently need better clothes to get past him, maybe.
Johnny Thunder isn't gonna be happy about this.
Maybe Mr. Thunder needs to spend more money on wardrobe.
Johnny Thunder isn't gonna be happy about this.
Maybe Mr. Thunder needs to spend more money on wardrobe.
Oh, maybe we can get Marty down here. If we figure out exactly what we're dealing with. Is this magic? Looks vaguely like her.
I wonder if she's intrigued by my new jaw.
I suppose probably is. Alright. That might be illegal right there.
Buenos dias.
Back off, sleazeball, or my husband here will bust your jaw.
Hey, these work without money. Maybe Hector's not all that bad. I knew it. They're all fixed.
Well, at least we didn't lose money, I suppose, but... What about this instruments person?
Something strange is going on under that raincoat.
I don't know what to do this with him or with anyone down here, but... I really think this is, for my own sake partially, and for the sake of not devolving into an incoherent state where I don't know what I'm saying at all. I suppose it's high time for me to go ahead and, yeah, do another save right here. And sort of try to keep that in mind, keep it in my head about, yes, my current objective probably being better clothes, but that is where I'm going to be leaving that off for now, even though it was a bit of a shorter time, like I said. Due to some circumstances, still. I wanted to stick to, well, the way that I more or less had it laid out as I click on a few things in the background. But for now, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take off. And probably conk out real soon. But before I do that, let me, I guess, restart this track that I had playing right as the game started up some time back. So, in a way that those two sounds even kind of coalesced with each other. Go ahead and find the correct screen for this, which apparently I'm very good at forgetting how things work, but that's already kind of established. Had fun, was a fun time. When I got some publicity email that download while I was streaming, that's cool. Not surprising, but yeah. I guess I'll try to be back tomorrow. Like I said, I actually put up the new schedule for this week in Discord and elsewhere. Elsewhere being pretty much only one other location, and that's in the stream panel, so... as per that, I'll try to see if I can do something a little bit earlier tomorrow. It might be a little bit out of whack too, because something that I was expecting to happen earlier in the day today didn't happen, and it might happen tomorrow instead, so try to figure out exactly how that's gonna work and if that's gonna be any kind of like a conflict, but I hope that it isn't. But if I do manage to do something, which hopefully I will, it'll be, well, like it says, Chrono Cross, and maybe start Dead Rising on Thursday, no, on Wednesday. Something that nothing goes too crazy. Actually, might end up trying to do something a little bit, I guess if I follow the actual guidelines that I put for on Wednesday, I'll probably try to do things sooner, because, you know, the day after Wednesday is Thursday, and very early in the morning on Thursday there's the Thursday chase, but I guess that's something that kind of figure out myself, regardless of how it affects my stream. Well, affects or doesn't affect my stream, doesn't really matter. But yeah, see if I can pull off at least like one Chrono Cross and one Dead Rising this coming week. See if I can manage at least that much. I haven't really tested the PC version of Dead Rising at all, I don't think, but I mean, I'd finished getting some more achievements in another Steam game with my current kind of ghetto, but apparently very functional controller configuration for Steam, which is Castlevania Advance Collection, in which I currently have all the achievements except for the ones that are related to Dracula X, even the ones that are just like grind stuff in the other games, or finish the New Game Plus modes in the other games, because I guess I would rather do that than to go back into Dracula X. But I'll figure the rest of that out. I mean, there's literally only 3 achievements for Dracula X out of the 48 that are in that collection. But anyway, yeah, that's what's gonna happen if I don't completely screw everything up this following week, which hopefully I won't. I will screw up try to say words if I keep these going for much longer though, so that's gonna be the point at which I finally try to wind things down though, so I will say you'll take it easy. Thank everybody for coming like always, thanks for chatting, always great whenever people chat, and I will be seeing you later.